What is good? What is up? It's Jordan or Texans Thoughts, and I'm back with another video today. I'm going to be shutting down all of the Joe Brady hype because he's not ready to be an NFL head coach, in my opinion.
No. No. She wasn't ready. She wasn't ready.
And look, I got nothing against the dude. I want us to have 35 great head coaching candidates to choose from, right? But he's just not the guy for us right now. Could he be a good head coach in 3 to 5 years? Sure. But I'm not taking that risk right now when there are way better candidates available. So why not Joe Brady? The first biggest thing for me is he's not experienced enough. At 31, he's a young dude, and I question how he can command a locker room. Can he be a leader of men? Are players going to respect him when he's younger than some of the players themselves? With Eric Bieniemy, Robert Saleh, Matt Eberflus, you hear glowing reviews from their players and the coaching staff that they work with about the type of leaders they are. You ain't hearing that out of Brady. And yeah, sure, look at Sean McVay, but McVay is the exception, man, not the rule. He's a generational type of coach, and even when he got hired by the Rams, he had more coaching experience than Brady. Brady's only got 1 year at an NFL level offensive coordinator, which hasn't gone great, and I'll get to that later, but also only 1 year at LSU where, he wasn't head coach, wasn't offensive coordinator, he was a passing game coordinator. And okay, cool, but then you look at his time with the Saints and offensive assistant, this man has really only had 1 year of calling plays, and we want to jump the gun and hand him the keys to the entire team? Nah, I'm good on that one, man. And on that note, Brady, he doesn't even want to leave Carolina in the first place, so he might not even be available. I just think the hype around him, it's just way too early, way too overblown. Another argument against Brady is what kind of staff can he build? Robert Saleh has a potential great staff in San Francisco that he can bring with him. Eric Bieniemy has connections with the Chiefs who have good coaches and the Vikings who have had good coordinators and coaches in the past. But with Brady, there's not a whole lot of guys there in Carolina that could be a good potential coach. And if you look at his time with the Saints, are they going to want to leave Sean Payton and the top ranked in the NFC Saints to go with a 31-year-old who's very unproven? Just a lot of question marks. However, the biggest question mark for me is actually the biggest alleged positive that comes with hiring Joe Brady. And that's that fact that he's seen as this next offensive young genius, right? To follow in the McVay and Shanahan steps. But I'm telling y'all, he's overrated. People talk about his ability to elevate talent, but in my opinion, it's actually the reverse. It's the talent that has elevated Brady. You look at everywhere he's been, and it makes sense. The Saints had Breeze, still playing at an MVP level. A top 3 wide receiver in Michael Thomas. The best O-line in the league during 2017 and 2018, plus Alvin Kamara. They also had great coaches in place. Great offensive minds, Sean Payton and Pete Carmichael. But that's okay. It was Brady's first NFL job. We can't expect him to be carrying an offense on his shoulders schematically, right? So let's look at LSU. People give him a lot of credit for unlocking Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And while they weren't highly scouted players out of high school, anyone who watches them can see the natural talent that they have. And yeah, they were all successful at LSU, but you know what helps prove that Brady didn't make them, but rather they're just that dang talented in the first place, is the fact that they've been successful without Brady. They went to 3 separate teams in the NFL and are all having crazy success. Do we really think Brady is that damn good for him to have Burrow on pace to break rookie quarterback records and Justin Jefferson to be having the best rookie wide receiver season in a Vikings uniform since Randy Moss? He's had so much to work with on LSU. Apart from those 3 first rounders, he also had Jamar Chase, the best wide receiver of the entire nation, and a future top 10 pick, plus Terrence Marshall, another future projected first round pick at wide receiver, plus 3 offensive linemen who got drafted, and a mismatch weapon in Thad Moss, the tight end. So stop number 1 with the Saints, he had talent. Stop number 2 with LSU, he had talent. What on stop number 3? And this is where my biggest gripe in his case comes from, right? His success just hasn't taken the NFL by storm. Has had solid offensive personnel in Carolina. Teddy Bridgewater isn't just some scrub. He's been successful in the past. DJ Moore is a legit wide receiver 1. Robbie Anderson is a very high level wide receiver 2 who has been a wide receiver 1 in the past. Curtis Samuel is one of the freakiest athletes in the league and an explosive weapon waiting to happen. Then you've got Christian McCaffrey, who, yeah, he's been injured, but even when he was healthy, I just wasn't blown away by Brady's offense. And for him to be the Texans head coach over other candidates who have the coaching experience, who can build a staff, who have shown to be a leader of men, for me to want to pick Brady over all those other guys, his scheme, his offensive mind that he's touted for, it needs to blow me away. It needs to be spectacular. Because it's a big risk. And he's just not there yet. The Panthers offense started off 2020 hot, but has become below average over the season. They're 9th in offensive DVOA, but just 21st in points per game. They don't show up versus the better teams, and they struggle in a lot of key areas like third down percentage, red zone scoring percentage, and points per play. And when I watched the film on the Panthers offense this year, what I was seeing with my eyes, it matched the stats to a T. Hell, even talking to Panthers fans and people who have watched a lot of Panthers games, they're not impressed by Brady. This quote really stood out to me, and goddamn, if that doesn't sound exactly like Bill O'Brien and some of the major issues plaguing our Texans offense, whew. But it's one thing for me to say all this, and another thing to show you with the film, because the film don't lie. So let's first start with some of the positives, because I don't want to make it sound like Brady is just clueless. Again, he can be a good head coach in 3 to 5 years, right? But he's just not ready for prime time right now. I think he's done a pretty solid job of putting his guys in positions that play to their skill sets. He'll utilize Curtis Samuel's athleticism and scheme up ways to get the ball in his hands for him to get yak. He knows DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson can take the top off the defense and looks to get them involved with the play action game. He even has some nice downfield routes for Christian McCaffrey when he was healthy. There's occasional flashes, but just not enough consistency to make me believe he's the next Sean McVay. Brady clearly believes in the quick passing game, a staple of the Saints and LSU too. And it makes sense with Carolina for 2 reasons. Number 1, because their offensive line is horrendous. They can't block for long developing route concepts, so Brady tries to hide that. Secondly, the Panthers struggle in converting third and longs, so they want to always stay on script and avoid negative plays. Brady always wants to get the ball out quick on first down. However, I think this does more harm than good. He loves quick screen passes, but they're horrible at executing. There's some blame to be put on the players for sure, but also on Brady for not coaching them up to block these better, and also for being so damn hard-headed and continuously calling these when they're clearly not effective. This reminds you of Bill O'Brien calling screens yet? Brady is trying so hard to be like the Patriots and their death by 1,000 cuts playstyle. That works when you have Tom Brady, who has the best mental game of all time and can be constantly perfect. But, and we've even seen this with Deshaun Watson last year, no other quarterback can really be perfect all the time, throwing 10 to 12 completions to dink and dunk their way down the field at a very consistent and high level. You need the explosive plays to be more efficient and make it easier on your offense. But Brady's scheme doesn't create these. He's pretty predictable in the play action game. When he wants to take a shot, it's usually around midfield. They'll go under center, max protect, and only send out 2 or sometimes 3 routes. Sound like Bill O'Brien now? On top of that, what really kills the Panthers offense is their inability to convert on third and medium to third and long. I've seen this play call far too often out of Brady, and it just curls to the sticks. There's no creativity or ingenuity, there's no putting defenders in conflicts of assignment. It's predictable. and leaving Teddy out to dry. Their struggles on third are really illustrated in this cycle. Brady tries to stay on script and gain 2 to 4 yards on first down. But when those screens get 0 yards, they're stuck at 2nd and 10. Then so often we'll see Brady dial up a run play because he's terrified of having to be in 3rd and long and wants to make it manageable. But the Panthers don't have a great offensive line and don't have a great run game either. So they end up in 3rd and long anyways. I'm not crazy, right? The parallels to how Bill O'Brien calls plays and Joe Brady are just scarily obvious. Moving on though, and one thing that makes Sean McVay so great is his ability to show a concept early in the season, then adjust and counter off of it once the defense figures it out. I have yet to see that from Brady, and here's an example. He loves these drive concepts, and it's a good concept, don't get me wrong, they've had success with it early in the season, but as the season has gone on and they've played better teams who have scouted this out, Brady has no counterpunch. And he's been so hard-headed in continuously calling these that it's just giving up a free down and playing right into the defense's fingers. We also see this lack of creativity come to burn the Panthers in the red zone. Once they finally drive the ball downfield, it seems like they've almost ran out of plays to choose from. Rarely do you see misdirection or creativity to create an advantage, and thus their poor red zone scoring percentage. Their most consistent scoring play down here is damn Teddy Bridgewater running for his life. He's got 5 on the year, but it's not some creative design runs. It's because no one is damn open and he has to run for his life. The last thing that worries me is that this offense is plagued by penalties. It constantly sets them behind the sticks and contributes to their poor 3rd down percentage and red zone scoring. Penalties, in my opinion, are a clear indictment on the coaching staff. It shows you aren't teaching your players the fine details and perfecting it in practice. And the Panthers have the 8th most penalties in the entire NFL while playing the 3rd least snaps of any team. And of course, part of this is having a rookie head coach in Matt Rule, but it's the Panthers offense, not the defense, that is playing a lot more undisciplined. Not a good look on Joe Brady, who will need to teach and lead an entire team, but it doesn't even seem like he can pull his weight just with the offense. Look, I'm not here to hate on Joe Brady. I'll say it for the 3rd time. I think he can be a good head coach in the future. And I get it, you're not going to get another chance to hire him. But that doesn't mean you take a risk when he's not ready and ignore more other qualified candidates. You can't hire him just because you're scared the Jaguars are going to take him and be better and have the next Sean McVay. Let them take the risk on Brady. Let them deal with the inevitable growing pains of hiring someone so inexperienced. And go get yourself someone who can actually lead a team while giving you a schematic advantage. Alright, that's going to do it for the video. If you enjoyed, please do hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and comment down below your thoughts on the video, plus on which coach you'd like me to break down next. Huge shout out to all the Texans Thoughts team members. We just got a bunch of new guys join the team, and it's awesome. I really do appreciate all y'all's support, and I hope you enjoy the exclusive content and exclusive Discord that you now have access to. Alright, take care everyone. Enjoy the rest of your week. And remember, the film don't lie.